The United States of America have signed a Memorandum of Understanding with Zambia for the development and implementation of strategic priority commercial projects in Zambia. The MoU will facilitate further increase in trade and investment between the two countries.
Well, speaking during the signing, Chipoka Mulanga, Minister of Commerce, said the U.S. should partner with Zambia through provision of technology to help the country. And I'm sure that we did follow when the Vice President Kamala Harris indeed touched down in Zambia. But joining us is Dr. Nicholas Mainza, agribusiness and economics specialist. Dr. Nicholas, thank you so much for being here this morning all the way from Zambia.
Thanks, and good morning to you. Good morning, viewers.
Good morning. Now, let's take a look at, it was great news, all pomp and pageantry. Everyone was excited to see the Vice President. But what does this Memorandum of Understanding, the MoU that was signed, what does it mean to Zambia and Zambians?
Yes, for me, I would call it is actually a milestone in the making. You know, we share, Zambia and the United States of America share a lot for a longer time now. You know, we share a lot based on the democratic values, the growing commercial engagement, as well as the long outstanding health cooperation, even just people-to-people ties. So this means a lot where the economic development and the maintenance and restructuring is concerned.
You've talked about maintenance and restructuring. What are some of the other areas, of this project that we're looking at?
Yeah. So the memorandum of understanding that was actually, signed and being uploaded by the Honorable Minister, of Commerce, Trade and Industry, it looks at, very important pillars of our economy. Just to mention a few, there, it's covering areas to do with, strengthening of the commercial engagement. Okay, that's, for example, the areas of trade. So another pillar which is looking at, investing in democratic institutions and good governance. The U.S. has been always, at our doorstep to help us where, good governance, local governance is concerned. It's also looking at bolstering the health cooperation. I think Zambia has been one of the countries that has been benefited a lot from the United States when it comes to the support towards our health sector and health department. And it's also going to be looking at promoting innovative food security, energy, that's the renewable energy, as well as the climate solution. As you know, I think in the SADC region, we are one of the countries that are actually suffering or maybe at pains when it comes to the high cost of energy, as well as the drought issues where climate is concerned.
All right. If we take a look at it, Zambia ranks amongst the countries with the highest level of inequality. Also, not forget to do the area and levels of poverty as well. And when President Hichilema was coming, he was looking at ensuring that all of these things changed. But the United States has also had a diplomatic relationship with Zambia right from time memorial, talking about them since about 1964. So far, so good. What has Zambia really benefited from this relationship? What have you benefited from the relationship you've had with the United States? And what is the United States visitation aiming to do that will be different from what you had in the time past?
Yeah, thank you. This visitation by the high-profile, delegate from the United States of America to Zambia, it means a lot, especially in the areas of, we are saying that they've pledged to support, the bilateral relationship, and they want to, they intend to provide more than $505 million in this coming fiscal year, which is 2024. That's for bilateral assistance. And, just to look at some certain areas that really we as a country, Zambia, has benefited, in the longest time ever that you would actually want to mention, from the time that we got independence up to maybe this time around. One area that we can just make mention of is that in the health sector, as one of the components which is bolstering health cooperation, there's been areas to mention, for example, the continuation of PEPFAR investment, and they are actually pledging about $387.9 million. This is actually, the president's emergency plan for AIDS relief. This has been running for a longer time, where they've been helping, giving us resources, financial resources, the technical support, even to the support, the supporting staff that we've been employing or having as, the frontline staff to help with, the management of this health sector. There's been also the malaria investments through the United States president. They've also pledged about $28 million in this coming fiscal year. On the promoting of innovative food security, energy and climate solutions, really on this part, they've not done enough, but this is the area that we are actually trying to move into. If you may, if I can just bring to your attention that most of the African countries, they've been, getting their fertilizers and other agricultural inputs from Russia. And you are aware that right now, Russia and Ukraine war has actually, disturbed all any kinds of, links, trade, arrangements within our countries. So we are actually now trying to find an alternative to this kind of, break in trade that we have now with Russia and Ukraine. So we are actually now trying to look to the West and find the alternative, source to the fertilizer, the fertilizer production. So this MoU covers the launch of fertilizer funds, where they are going to provide, this alternative, and that means that it's going even to help us, cover up on the issues of the food crisis that we as a country and Africa at large is actually, finding itself in.
We're seeing that this memorandum of MoU for commercial projects, a lot of the focus would also be on the climate. And we're seeing that there's going to be conversations about the U.S. government announcing new federal funding and initiatives to expand access to climate information services and enhance climate resilience and adaptation. Judging from where we are right now, we know that Africa contributes the least to, doesn't contribute as much, but one of the least contributors, yet suffers greatly from the effects of climate change. How exciting is this news, and how involved would you say we have been on the continent in conversations that surround climate change and the impact that we're feeling?
Yeah, thank you. I think the impact is quite massive if we are to be realistic. Southern Africa has not been spared. East Africa, it has been hit quite hard. Ethiopia, Kenya, they've not been left aside, even Tanzania. So, having such kind of support from the West, it actually, uplifts our efforts in trying to combat the food security aspect. All we need, we cannot run away from it. We are still developing countries. When talk about African countries, we are still developing, and all we need is some kind of a jump start. Given support, financial support, technical support. We may have stuff, but all we need is actually the financial support from the West and any other superpowers. So on the renewable energy infrastructure, they have pledged to put about 1 million grants funding for the utility scale battery energy storage system, where they are going actually to support to advance efforts of African Green Core Group, a renewable energy trader, to develop about 400 megawatts. That's on the battery energy storage. This is an environmental friendly using kind of energy system.
All right. Thank you so much, Doctor. All right.
Climate effects. Yeah, climate effects. I wanted to add a point on the climate effects that have actually hit us quite hard. This can be seen from the, how much quantities of food that African countries actually keep on importing. Zambia, we actually import a lot of food stuff from outside, and yet we are, we have the favorable, weather conditions when it comes to maybe, land is available, resources could be available, but the effects of drought are quite massive. So what we need from this MoU now is that if only they can come to actualization, so that we begin implementing, we can improve on the irrigation aspect, and then this will help us maybe combat or maybe improve on food security in the country.
Thank you so much for talking to us, Dr. Nicholas Mainza. You are an economics specialist, and also you also are a specialist in agribusiness. We were going to ask a question about agriculture and the benefits and what projections you do have for the United States, but I guess we'll leave that for next time. Thank you for talking to us this morning.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, still Breakfast Central on News Central. Olive, discussions have indeed surrounded Kamala Harris's visitation to Africa. I mean, I did read from a news post, also an African news post. I'm still trying to find where I actually saved that. There's also the fear, as been mentioned and circulated, that Russia is also edging closer. We also have BRICS. You do recall that they're also looking at doing away with carrying out businesses with the dollar. So they're now looking at using the Chinese or, the yuan, not forgetting to, you have trades agreement that's been signed by these countries. Kenya is not left out. Kenya is also joining that trade agreement.
Kenya is also trying to, I remember stumbling on a video clip of the president saying to them, those of you who are hoarding dollars, better, I'm pity for you. Basically just letting them know that very soon it would be of no value to them. Course. Because they're trying to, in some way, implement measures to ensure that when they're buying oil, they're not paying in dollars, because these dollars that they need to, they pay for their export or their import is what is scarce, and the scarcity it's causing is in some way affecting the economy. I don't know how successful they'll do that, and I don't know how the United States is going to take that, because the U.S. Dollar has been one that has been a globally recognized currency, but it would seem that in some sense, some countries are beginning to feel like, we don't want this stronghold over us anymore.
That's right.
If Osage were here, he would have given us some semi-conspiracy theories about, the US. It's just that he might not be like, I need to he will try to talk, and then he will say, I'll keep my conversation for another day.
But to look at it from a clear perspective, the United States needs to just strengthen its bilateral ties, period. Reasons: China is becoming a strong force. The partnership that you have with the BRICS in general, from Brazil, Russia, and not forgetting to, you're looking at African countries that have decided to join in, including South Africa. It's well enough reason for one to actually go on that tour, strengthen the ties, and do as much as possible to ensure that you can actually have more businesses and more relationship that will definitely become.
Do we maybe see the possibility of that unity or that bilateral relationship between America and China?
They've always been in a tussle, back and forth. I do recall Donald Trump's era and time, and that fight that never stopped. The
fight manifests itself in the big ways and in the little ways, even like with apps like TikTok. And TikTok,
that's a new one that's ongoing now.
Conversation.
Yeah, that's a different conversation as well.